Hey everyone, this is Peter, DJ Fist here at Castle Blakk Radio. I'm here with Tribulance. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, and how's everybody out there doing?
We're good. Still hot here in Tampa, Florida. I guess it's hot. It's always hot there in Arizona as well.
Yeah, dude, it's Arizona, man. I'm in Tucson, so yeah, we only have maybe like one season in the summer.
Yeah, pretty much same here.
It.
They always say their joke about Arizona is, I'm sure you've heard it before, where it's different from Florida heat because in Arizona it's a dry heat. But then again, if you put your head in the oven, it's still gonna be hot because the oven is dry heat too.
Oh yeah, so you can step in an oven and walk out, it's gonna feel the same.
That's
no difference.
Cool.
Or instead of sitting in an oven, you can just go and sit in your car and you'll bake real quick.
Oh God, I can imagine.
But you know what? It's Arizona, Tucson, Phoenix, and dude, to me, born and raised here. I love this state. I think it's like a lot of other states, man. I mean, you got a lot of great talent coming out of these cities that get like overlooked.
Yeah.
And, I think Tucson is one of those cities, man. I mean, playing here in Tucson for so many years, I've seen a lot of great bands, a lot of great, just musicians, and there's just a lot of talent out here. It's like one of those cities. Like, you know what? If anybody is planning to come to Arizona, you know what? Stop in Tucson, listen to some music, be it, jazz or classical or metal or anything, man. There's a lot of it out here.
Okay, nice.
Believe it or not, there's a lot out here.
How is the metal/hard rock scene out there? Is it tough to find a gig, or is it more friendly for metal bands to find gigs, or how is it out there?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know if it applies to like all the others. Yeah, you know what? I know. Our neighbor, Phoenix. There's a lot more than there is in Tucson. Obviously, Phoenix is a little bit bigger city than Tucson.
Right.
But it's not hard to find gigs. What is hard is to find the bands that are out there. If there's a band that's wanting to come through or just wants to gig, we're reaching out to each other like, hey, you know what, you want to do this gig with us? Hey, you guys want to be on the bill? So here it's really small, so a lot of the bands know each other, and we know the genres, and we know what will mix and what won't mix,
right,
and whatnot. But it's not tough at all. It's just trying to get on the same page as far as like, hey man, you know what, can all of us get together and rock out this Saturday night and do what we love doing.
Okay.
Sometimes it's kind of difficult to where another band they're busy they're on the road, or they're in the studio, or they're taking breaks, or they're on vacation, or it's tough. But all in all, the metal scene and the community itself, everybody's looking out for each other one way or another.
Oh, that's great. That's good to hear. Don't need any more bickering in the metal scene, any drama. There's plenty of that in other.
Oh yeah, and there's that, the bickering and pointing fingers and stuff like that, and well, why is this? It's there, there, but the bottom line is, you know what? You really don't care.
Yeah.
This is, let's just say, I'm sorry you have to go on at 5:00, but who hasn't done that?
Yeah.
But we all do what we can to at least try to help each other out, and that's where the support from one band's support helps another band.
Right.
And
True.
their support and vice versa and stuff like that. And then there's some bands that are just starting, and they're like, hey, you know what, this is going to be our first gig, and you know what, jump on.
Yeah.
You can do, and, we get our fair share of, the eyebrow raise, or like, look at these guys, or, you know what, just the nature of the beast. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody's wanting to do their thing, and for me, it's just a matter of, let's just go do what we do.
Yeah.
All of us. It doesn't matter when or where. Let's just do what we do.
Yeah.
And take it from there.
Okay, cool. What the band name Tribulance, That's how you pronounce it, right? And where did that come from? What's the origin of the band name? Or have you had a different band name to start off with, or did it change into Tribulance, or what?
The name itself, actually, I mean, we did have a list. I couldn't really remember what we had down. I mean, something like, okay, whatever. But Tribulance came into the point to where when we were doing the album, the guitar player had a song that we did called Trials and Tribulations, kind of just crushed it together. So it's kind of like a derivative of Trials and Tribulations, kind of put those together, and it's, well, we get Tribulance. And we weren't too sure how it would go about, but we just said, you know what, that's, to us, at that time, it was different. Never really heard it. Kind of made me scratch my head like, oh, that's kind of awkward, or that's kind of like, let's see what happens. And you know what? It's been with us ever since.
I see you've been, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's just one of those things that I think all of us just really looked and said, you know what? It's different. It's one of those rare things that you really don't hear. You might hear Trials and Tribulations a lot.
Right.
But to us, when we hear somebody say that, it's like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we know, you know, or somebody that, like for you, for instance, now that you know, you're somewhere and somebody's preaching or saying something about their Trials and Tribulations, and they're like, oh, okay, now I know where that band got their name from.
So yeah, I noticed.
It was one of those rare moments.
I was kind of surprised when I was looking up Tribulance in metalarchives.com, and usually you search for bands, you find 4 other bands with the same name or something similar, but yours is the only one, so I was kind of surprised at that, so that's good.
You know what? I saw some to that effect at one time, but it might have been Tribulation rather than Tribulance.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, Tribulance is like one of those things, like if there's another one out there, I like to see it. Just to say, like, wow, you know what? There's another one out there. All right, cool.
Yeah. And you've been in the band since the beginning. It says you had an album, Trials and Tribulations, 1995, and then the next one, 2016. There's a big gap there. Did you guys break up for a period of time and decide to come back? Or?
You know, that's a real big gap, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
You said 95 makes me fucking feel old now. But, no, if you want to break it down, it was a few years before that when we actually got together. Now, we had some little things go on, you know, overseas in Europe and stuff, and it just didn't take off. And I don't know if that was something that kind of bummed us out or something we just kind of just thought like, well, whatever. But there was a minute where we did take a long recess,
right?
Or
yeah,
hiatus, and I think a lot of it just compiled, and it was just like frustrating. The movement trying to get something going. 5 years back then, for us, it was like, you know, that's a long time. Something should happen. What we were looking for, I couldn't really tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But we kind of said, like, you know what? In a nutshell, in my mind, we all, you know, we said, oh, we broke up and this and that. I think we just took a really long break from each other.
Yeah.
Coming back together and reforming, I think it gave us a little bit more of a understanding and a mature attitude towards what we're doing and what we're looking for now.
Yeah.
I think from 95 till 2016, there was so much music had come out. So I think what we were listening to, what I was listening to, kind of took a different turn along the way. What the guys did on their off time from then till now, I didn't keep tabs on them like, hey, you know, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of spun off and did my own thing. I took a little bit of break. I had gotten a band together back in the day called Level 13. It was a little bit more harder, a little bit more aggressive. Had some pretty good things happen with that band.
Okay.
So for me, within that gap, I never really had a break. When that band ended and we decided to get back together, yeah, there was a little bit of break, but nothing to kind of keep me out of the music. So I kept myself busy. And reforming this time, I think we've all matured and we've all listened to so much that we kind of brought what we wanted to hear on this second go around. And the album, The Aftermath of Lies, I think Sal really took his time and thought that through. Back then, we were just a bunch of kids wanting to write and create, and there was a little bit of thought, but I think on this album, there was actually a thought process. It was like, let's sit down, let's think about this.
Right.
And I think just that whole gap in us maturing and growing up and really understanding what we wanted and what we wanted to do this go around, I think that album really shows our maturity from 95.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard the first album. I didn't realize there was a first album, so I'll have to try and check it out.
You're
somewhere.
welcome to, but I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but hey, you know what? Go if you can make some stuff up, have a listen, and you can kind of see.
You'd see how
see the differences.
How a band evolves, and see how that goes. What
and we evolved, even though we had that long break from one album to the other. Yeah, for me, there's a big difference, and I kind of liked how it evolved. I think there was a minute towards the end where we were really starting to define ourselves, and then we still did. I think when we came back together, we kind of picked up where we left off, but with a mature attitude and outlook at what we were striving for.
Right. Okay. What genre of music do you consider your band to be, and what are your influences musically? What did you grow up listening to?
If I had to sit here and pinpoint a genre for us, I would just say metal.
That's good enough.
We're not pushing the envelope to where we're like death or thrash or speed, and we're not slow enough to where we can kind of just say, oh, we're hard rock. I think we're kind of in between the realm of hard rock and your basic heavy metal, to where we fit in that slot to where I think it's hard enough to say we're heavy, but at the same time, if you wanted us to categorize us in the hard rock, I'm okay with that. I'm cool.
Yeah. I can definitely understand that.
There's some really good metal bands that can actually have a really good rock sound. It's like, whoa, you know what? That's pretty cool coming from that metal band.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just one of those things. If we wanted to, we probably could go speed. We could go death. We could go, scream and do that. But I think all of us are comfortable right here.
Right. That's good. Yeah.
I just want to be right here. And as you said on influences, I'm like a way back kind of guy. The '80s, Iron Maiden, Priest, Dio, Ozzy. My biggest influence would be Motley Crue. Not because they were like the heaviest band on earth. They just did something to me that was like, you know what? They pushed the envelope. They crossed that boundary to like, you're either gonna love us or you're gonna hate us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's no in between. I think the way that an older generation looked at Kiss is the way I looked at Motley Crue. They were shocked at Kiss. I was shocked at Motley Crue.
Right.
And and knowing that Motley Crue, they weren't as heavy as Iron Maiden or Ozzy or Sabbath or Dio or any of those heavy metal bands. It was just something unique about them that made me say, you know what? This is different. This is pretty cool. This is badass.
Yeah, they did their own thing, and like you said, some people love them, some people hate them. And when I first started getting into heavy music, I liked Motley Crue. I wouldn't say I love them anymore, but I saw them live in concert, which was always a great thing to see them play live.
Yeah, that Motley Crue always had a big arena show. It was always unique to see what they would do the next time. The same applies to Iron Maiden, to Judas Priest. They were on that arena level to where if you saw them multiple times, it was always something different. And
right.
That stuck with me through the whole 80s and mid 90s, and I loved that whole production that a band like that brought. Time went on, and again, that's where maturity for me kind of came into play, because then all these other bands started to come in: Fear Factory, Static X, Korn, Slipknot, Mudvayne. So that started to come in, and it kind of to make another scratch in my brain, like, what's going on here? You know, stuff's getting a little bit heavier, stuff is getting a little bit harder, and you know, now you got your Lamb of Gods and all these other bands that just kind of branch in so many ways. There's just so much metal out there. Yes. You just can't say this is the best part. All of it is really insane now. It's like, I loved Motley Crue. I loved everybody in that genre. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, I also love Lamb of God. I love everybody that's in that genre too.
Right, yeah.
So for me, you know, musically, when the band came together, there was just so much that I heard and taken in. It was like, this is why I listen to metal, because there's always something. There's always something going on.
What was your the first heavy album you ever got, or cassette? Or for me, it was I grew up in the album days. I used to go to the record store. Well, now you can go to the record store and there's records there, but for a while there, the records were kind of obsolete. But what was your first
right.
What was your first record, and what was your first metal concert?
Okay, my first record, and actually it wasn't a record, it was actually a cassette. So it was still borderline album and cassette. So my first cassette would have been Shout the Devil from Motley Crue.
Oh, that's
granted, I've already heard, you know, Iron Maiden, I've already heard Priest, Nazi and Crew, and Zeppelin, and all those other good things. But actually having my first album would have been Motley Crue, Shout the Devil. But it was on cassette.
Yeah.
Now my first metal show, now would that be metal in any genre, or just my first show in general?
I guess first show in general. If it's not metal, then what would you say would be your first metal show?
Okay, listen, my first show in general would have been Styx.
Oh, okay.
I think that was maybe 11, and it was here at the Tucson Arena. Yeah, and then it was, you know what? I'm always gonna remember that, because the way their stage was set, I was just a little kid. I mean, I was only 11. Like, what am I doing here? And two of my uncles, hey, let's go to the show. And actually, my sister came with us too. It was just like one of those things, like, what? Wow, that's pretty cool. You know, that's it. Just like, wow, okay. And they had the production. I remember it. They had a big production.
Did you get scared by Gene Simmons at the age 11 with his blood and the spitting fire?
No. Okay, did you think I said Kiss?
At first, I thought you said Kicks, and then I thought you said Kiss.
No, my first concert was Styx, SQIX.
Oh my gosh, Styx! So never mind about that Gene Simmons concert. And then, so were you appalled by Dennis DeYoung and his fire breathing and his spitting blood?
Right? Big platform shoes. Right. No, but like I was saying, that show was just mesmerizing for some reason.
Yeah.
It was just like he had a production.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you why I went or how I ended up there. I was just there.
Okay. I was gonna say an 11-year-old going to a Kiss concert. Who at 11 years old is going to go to a Kiss concert? And was it who brought you there? But Styx, I understand more. But
yeah. So that was my first show. As far as metal show, if I had to sit here and really say, I can't remember. I've been to so many. I'm trying to think as far back as I could. I remember Motley Crue doing their Pain tour in '85. Ozzy did his Bark at the Moon, and a little bit after that, his Ultimate Sin tour. You know what? I've seen so many, it's really hard to pinpoint.
Yeah.
Crew. I'll just say crew 84, maybe.
All right. That's a good one. That's a good answer. Can't go wrong with them.
No.
But let's see what else. How long have you guys? I see you pretty much kept from the beginning album to your newest album. The members are all the same. I see you only have one past member according to Metal Archives. So I guess you all are good friends and grew up together. Is that how it went?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Back then it was Mike, Sal, Stan, and myself. 5 years. It was just, we got together back then because I knew Mike from another band. We knew Sal playing guitar in another band. We got together, had one band, and that didn't last long. And you know how it is. Everybody knows each other somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Me and Mike connected a few years later, connected with Sal. He knew a drummer, and which would have been Stan at that time, and then that's how we got together. Moving, fast forward to now, the drummer wasn't able to rejoin. He was going through some issues that he needed to take care of, so he kind of excused himself from the band. I knew Brandon since middle school. I've known everybody in that band for quite a long time. If I had to sit here and pinpoint the longest, it would have been Brandon. I've known him for actually most of my life. And I knew he drummed. I spoke to him a few years prior about another band, and he wasn't able. So I called him up on this one and said, hey, dude, we're looking for a drummer. Are you free? And sure enough, he was free, and he came in and took that vacant spot, and we've been running with it ever since.
That's great. Good that you don't have much turnover. That's always, especially trying to find a drummer. Drummer's hard because when you do find a drummer, they're in 4 other bands.
Yeah, you know what? And here in Tucson, yeah, it's because, like I said, earlier, it's a small city, so when you're out there looking for members, it's kind of hard sometimes.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to kind of do your research and like, well, who's free? You would hate to go to another band or kind of talk to the singer or whoever musician you're looking for, like, hey man, are you really committed to this band?
Yeah.
You kind of don't want to steal somebody, but unfortunately, for us, it was a good thing that Brandon was available to sit in and fill that void for us. And you know what, we've been running with it ever since.
That's good. Are you guys? How often you guys go out and do shows? I know you had one last Sunday. I was thinking the interview was last Sunday for some reason, but then that was this Sunday. But how often you guys go out and play gigs or?
As much as we would like to go out, as much as we could, and kind of, me personally, I'm more of a stage person. I hate the studio.
Uh-huh.
I just take the time. It's time consuming. I would rather waste my time on stage than in the studio, but unfortunately, we got to do it.
Yeah.
Right now, we are in the studio, and hopefully, we can finish up here in the next few months with these tracks that we got going on. Being that we're in the studio, we kind of want to get that done and finished and out of the way. So we don't pick and choose our shows. We kind of just look for the ones that we're available for.
Okay.
I was telling the guys the other day, I was like, I don't want to put too much on the plate and have a bunch of shit undone. Let's just go in here and finish this. If we can do something in between that's just, quick and painless, then let's do it.
Yeah.
But let's kind of hurry up and get these things done, because we shot ourselves in the foot one time way back when we started. We just had so much shit on our plate. It was really difficult. We were just getting frustrated, and you get to that point to where you were supposed to take care of this. Well, what's going on here, and where's this and where's that? It's like, okay, time out.
Yeah.
Before we start kicking each other's ass because we're pissed at each other for whatever reason, let's just, on the next go around, one thing at a time. Let's just get it out of the way, and then we'll just go. You know, the studio, like I said, for me, it's I know I got to do it, but it's not the place I'm more comfortable. So when it comes to that, I like to go in, get my shit done, and then be gone and go in and, you know, do the mastering, mixing, you know, accordingly. But right now, that's when it comes to shows, because we're in this studio situation, we kind of want to pick when we can, if we're available.
Okay. I know. How far along are you on with the next album? Would you say how many songs you have done, and like what percentage you guys done with that?
So how would I say this without giving a lot away? The new album has been started, but right now what we're doing is we're kind of re-releasing tracks that the band felt should have been done this way as opposed to back then. So there's like, it's kind of a cool thing to where, you know what, for instance, for you, like if you were to go back and dig in the archives and find that album that we did back then, there might be a few of those that you're probably going to hear with this 2017 attitude.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd even be able to find that, but I'll search around for it.
You know, I'll cross my fingers that nobody does, but there's still people like that out there that are like, oh, I'm gonna find it, man, and I'm gonna say something about it. But you know what? If it's one of those things that you can't find, and you're really wanting to hear it, or you just want to hear it so you can hear it and put your 2 cents in, like, and say it, like, what the fuck were you guys thinking? just let me know, man. I'll throw you on your way.
All right. Yeah, all right, that's good. What else here? What memorable concerts have you had? Like any crazy stuff that's been going when you do concerts, and have you played with some other bigger bands and some people might have heard of that went through your area or anything like that? Any crazy concert or concert stories, basically.
That I've been to, or that I've played with
part of the band. Yeah.
You know what? I'm probably gonna have to go off the grid on this one, and we're actually off the Tribulance grid, and go back to my old band, and this would probably just pertain to me. There were two. There was actually in my old band, Level 13. There was actually a couple of shows that I did, and one of them I actually had the pleasure of opening up for Wayne Static from Static X.
Okay, cool.
You know, so that sticks out in my mind, because to this day it's hard for me to fathom that Wayne Static is dead.
Yeah.
I still can't see that. I know he is. It's just hard for me to see it. And then looking back in hindsight, saying, you know what, my old band actually had the privilege to open up for that guy.
Right.
It's one of those things like, wow. Even going before that, when I was in this little small Tucson thrash band, we had the privilege of opening up for Death. And obviously Chuck is no longer with us. You know, it's been a few years since he's been gone.
Yeah.
Just those things actually stuck out to me. Aside from the typical jokes and talking and crap we do, you know, on stage. I remember we were doing a show one time, and Mike did a disappearing act to where he was walking across the PA system. Somebody moved a section of it, or it was set up differently, and he just fell right through it.
Oh, man.
So some of the people thought it was part of the show, but because I was on the other side and knew exactly where he was at, I'm like, dude, you just fell through that, didn't you? So just little things like that it's just that makes it like, I saw that. You know, just the stupid stuff that we do. I remember back in the day opening up for King Diamond.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
just knowing these older bands like King Diamond, And for me, Static X and Death, those are little things that just really stick out, and it just scarred my brain for life, and it's just, you're going to remember that.
Yeah. Did you get to hang out with those guys and talk to them, or is it or were they
I did.
I'm going to play and then I'm leaving?
You know what? Yeah, it was kind of one of those things, but it was quick. Like, hey, you know what? Nice to meet you, and thanks for getting us on the bill, and you know what? It's an honor, and just knowing, for me, just knowing that Chuck and Wayne are both gone.
Yeah.
It's really, it just makes that memory in my brain just stick even more.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm from Tampa, so I know all about Chuck, but unfortunately, by the time I moved here, he was already passed away, so I never got to see him live. It would have been great.
What was your best Death album?
My best Death album, the one I like the most, is probably not a favorite, is the Scream Bloody Gore, because it's the technical stuff is great, but I like more of the death metal. Scream Bloody Gore is more of a death metal style.
Yeah, and then I remember that. I so vividly remember that. And then when Leprosy came out, and what's the one after that?
I have to look it up.
Spiritual Healing? Spiritual Healing? I think.
Let's see.
Right
could be right. Spiritual Healing was next.
Chuck was he was a mastermind behind the whole Death movement. I mean, I credit him. Back then, when Death came out, we had Cannibal Corpse. I mean, there was only so many death metal bands. There was maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Thanks to those, thanks to Chuck and just those few death metal bands. Oh, now we got a bunch of them, and I think Chuck had a big part of that. As far as being the death metal movement. I mean, yeah, we had Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer, but I think Death stood on its own away from them.
Yeah, I know. I was at a show this past Friday with I saw Venom Inc. They used to be Venom and now they're Venom Inc. Well, there's 2 bands, but in the audience I saw the singer from Cannibal Corpse and a drummer who used to be in Morbid Angel, and he was in the band Nocturnus, which is, when you go to a Tampa show, you always kind of look out for the local bands and who's going to show up, and you'll end up
somebody there.
You'll end up seeing somebody, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, and
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, you guys are in the running for our Band of the Month, and you're in the lead, so you got to keep that going. You're up.
Really?
You're up by 6 votes by the second man, so everyone needs to go out and vote for Tribulance.
So all of you that are listening right now, jump on.
Yeah, go to castblackradio.com and click on Band of the Month and vote for Tribulance. My band's in there, but don't vote for them, so just ignore that. Vote for Tribulance.
Your band's in there.
Yeah, let's just leave it at that. So, but vote for Tribulance.
Just leave it at that. Oh, come on, come on, too much stuff, Peter. Come on, pictures about that. Hey, you guys are listening. You know what? Vote for me and for Peter's band.
No, you got to vote for Tribulance. You guys are more of a band than I am, so I just do it for a joke. You guys are serious, so vote for Tribulance. Don't vote for my band. But anyway,
it's no joke, man. You're just pulling away from that, aren't you?
Yeah.
I don't want to walk away from that now.
So yeah, that's it. So we're gonna leave it at that for now. I need to get back to work, unfortunately. Could talk. We could talk for hours here, but any last words? What do you got to say? And I want to thank Teresa for helping spread the word about Tribulance and getting our music, and we've been playing you, and I'm going to play you a lot more. I've noticed, hey, I don't play you guys enough, so I got to put you on the set list every week now.
Okay. Yeah, dude, you know what? Dude, it was great talking to you, man. Thanks for having me. My last words would probably be, to all of you that are listening, hey, you know what? Stop by the Tribulance Facebook, Twitter, Instagram page. Type up Tribulance. I'm pretty sure you'll find us. Leave a comment, say what's up, tell me you suck, or I suck, or we suck, the band suck, anything, you know, good or bad. I take everything with it with the grain of salt. I'm humble, you know. I'm just glad to be, you know, doing what I'm doing, you know, and the older I get, I still love doing it. I would love to thank Peter for having me on the show. This guy's done. I want to thank, actually, you know what? We say DJ Fist. Now, is that a fist with the finger in the air?
Yeah, like fist, like razor fist.
Right. But like, is there a finger in the air, or is it just a fist?
Just a fist. I'm not too vulgar. Just a fist is fine.
Yeah, you know, I want to thank DJ Fist and what's it called? And with Castle Blakk Radio and the League of Cookies. Is that what it is? It's
League of Cookies. Yeah.
Where do you get the cookie thing from?
Cookie. Try to do a quick history on that. League of Cookies. I used to do a radio show at my friend's college, who was also a DJ at the station, and there's a Suffocation song, the band Suffocation, called League of Inveracity, and the singer sounds like, you know, the cookie cutter, not cookie cutter, but Cookie Monster vocals, like, so yeah. I ended up calling the show League of Cookies, so that's basically, it's named after Suffocation song and Cookie Monster vocals.
League of Cookies, dude. Now I know the story behind it as well as everybody else now, man. You know what, Peter? Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Dino.
I appreciate you having me on the phone and the League of Cookies, man. For all of you listening, keep listening, tune in, tell everybody about League of Cookies and Peter and all the awesome shit that he does. And for me, Gino, and on behalf of Matt Tribulance, Peter, we thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and we'll keep on playing your stuff and looking out for some new stuff. And you have any gigs you want to have us help promote for you guys, just let us know.
You know what?
We'll spread the word.
As of right now, we don't have anything because we're going to try to finish up these tracks that we got going in the studio. And real quick, just a reminder, for all of you that are on social media, you know, jump on, have a look, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And I want to give one shout out to my PA, my personal PA, Teresa. She's awesome at what she does for me. I wouldn't be here doing this interview if it wasn't for her.
Right.
And again, to her, thank you. I love you. To you, Peter, League of Cookies, keep doing what you're doing, man. You're awesome at it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Oh, most definitely, man. I'll talk to you soon, Peter.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Take care. Have a good night.
All right.